Good morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook. How are you today? It's November the 24th. Is it the 24th? I think it is. It's the 26th. I've lost. Sorry about that. November the 26th, 2020. How are you today? How are you feeling? So here in the UK, we're heading out of lockdown from next week. I think it's next Wednesday. I think we come out of lockdown, which is pretty good, ready for Christmas. So I would love to introduce you to the most incredible goddess. Now, when I say she's incredible, so her name is Stacey Ann Bernadette, and she is beautiful, and she's my friend. Welcome, Stacey. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. Yeah, I'm in the UK too, so we've been in isolation for 2 weeks nearly. Yeah, as well, because we flew in not last Friday, the Friday before from Perth.
So you live in Perth, Stacey, don't you? Your residency, you live in Perth, you live in Australia.
Yes, yeah, I live in Perth. So we've been there for about 6 years, I think now. So we came over to the UK because we had a bereavement on my partner's side.
Okay.
So we have decided we're going to stay for about 12 months, and I've got some projects that I'm working on over here, and we want to spend time with family because all our family's in the UK. Obviously, we're both from here. So yeah, we're going to use this opportunity to actually like spend some time with family and reconnect with people. So yeah, we're excited as well. Yeah,
I think you're mad coming back from Perth in the winter, but then again, actually correct, because Perth, where you live, I mean, I've been, I you know, that's where I met you in Perth, and and it is beautiful where you live. I mean, beautiful. When I come and stay, I stay with Natalie, who's another author in our first book, and I just love everything. I mean, please just tell us about Perth. What made you go to Perth? What made you stay in Perth?
Yeah, so like when I was in my 20s, I went traveling. I think it was like 2011, and I just went off, took my rucksack, ended up traveling around Southeast Asia, came to Australia. And to be honest, when I first came, I wasn't that impressed because I just traveled Southeast Asia, and it was such a different culture that when I came to Australia, I was like, oh, it's just like the UK with sunshine, yeah. And then it wasn't until I went back to the UK and it was so cold that I was like, oh, actually, I changed my view on Australia, and then I wanted to go back. I felt the pull to go back. But now it's actually, you know, a lot of people have said to me, like, why have you gone back to the UK? And it's like, well, it's actually like a really good opportunity for me to reconnect, because I spent a lot of time running away from the UK. When I initially went traveling, I was escaping, and now I've done a lot of work on myself, and I've healed lots of parts of myself that were connected to the UK, that now I've come back and I'm actually embracing the beauty. Like right now, look outside the window, we're in the countryside, like there's nests in the trees, like that you can see, and it's just so beautiful, like the landscapes. And I'm kind of feeling into that now I'm back, and like really looking at the beautiful parts of it now I'm here.
We have an incredible country here. I mean, I love Perth where you live, and the sun is amazing. But we have, I mean, our coastline, we have a beautiful country. So yeah. I feel you. So tell me, so you've come back, and you're only here for a year because you're going to go back home after. So you went to Australia and you met a boy.
I did. I met Ben. He's from the UK as well. I travelled all that way to get with meet an English guy, like you do. So it's always the way, isn't it? And then we had my little girl here. So we had Harper. She's 3 now. So she was born in Australia. And yeah, that's where we've set up our life and started building our life. And that's where I had my people like to call it awakening. So that's where I kind of started to rediscover more parts of myself, and I've been on my own healing journey over the past 6 years. So
So what happens with your awakening? I mean, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll read your chapter. So Stacey is in volume 4. I won't read the chapter, I'll read the bio, and then tell us about your awakening. So Stacey Ann Bernadette is a 35-year-old visionary in action. She was born in a small town in Stockport, England, and is now living by the beach in Perth, Australia. She is a passionate life and confidence coach who has taken herself to the deep depths of personal soul work and continues to do so, and I know that you do. Stacey graduated university receiving a Bachelor of Honours degree in person-centred counselling and psychotherapy, with a strong calling to help people overcome obstacles to live a fulfilled life. At 23 years old, she was working as a counsellor for alcohol and drug service, providing one-to-one sessions, facilitating art therapy and pre-detox groups for 25-year-olds and over. Interesting. A love of knowledge and adventure led to further training, completing teaching English as a foreign language certification. Stacey trained in Thai massage at the Siam Healing Centre in Koh Phangan. How do you pronounce that?
Koh Phangan.
Koh Phangan.
That's in Thailand.
Thailand. She was continuing her adventures to Perth, Australia, becoming an international student and achieving a diploma in community coordination. One of her top values is community, which is why she's worked in it for the past 9 years. From separation, meditation, counselling services, developing co-parenting programs, disability services, out-of-home care services, and supporting young Indigenous children in child protective services. Wow. Wow. Stacey's healing journey and soul work guided her to master the art of energy work. And I must say, you are incredible. The main purpose of working holistically with the whole person, mind, body, and soul. She is an intuitive empath who can sense what is going on with a person emotionally, physically, mental, and spiritual levels. She is a Usui Reiki master and an advanced theta healing practitioner, which you are incredible at. In 2018, Stacey gained the courage to step out of the matrix to create her own healing practice after the birth of her daughter. The unexpected transition from maiden to mother and the realization she carried her sister and mother wounds spurred her on. Stacey now creates women's circles, the power and transformation of women coming together to share stories. She has met the fears of being heard and seen, reclaiming her power by taking empowered action to and beyond the edges of her comfort zone. She is a serial manifester who continues to smash her dreams by taking life by the reins and investing in her personal growth. Stacey's mission is to help others realize their goddess energy and become the leaders of their own life. To rewrite the story, to realign the energy and rework the confidence. Stacey teaches women how to believe in themselves, expanding their current level of thinking of what is believed to be possible to even more possibilities, igniting self-worth and turning dreams into reality. Stacey is supported by her #1 cheerleader in her life, her love, and her soulmate, Ben. So you can reach Stacey through her email, on her website, and through her Facebook pages. Her story is epic. Before I ask her to speak.
It feels so weird, when you read that out. It's it's like, woo.
I just want to read this first bit, which will blow you away from her chapter. So excuse me while I love it. I love this. I love it. Stacey Ann Bernadette. Firstly, I want to let you know something. I see the magnificence in you. I want to tell you why it's so bloody important to say a big, fat yes to opportunities. And funny, because I've just offered Stacey an opportunity before we came live, and she just went, yes. Yes. Yesterday, I had the most profound healing experience. I said yes to writing these words. And as I type them this very second, I'm releasing years of trauma, an old self-limited belief, a story that's held me back many, many times. I was given this opportunity. I'm finally ready to reclaim my power. Well, maybe not initially. My first thought was, shit. Followed by the inner critic, I can't do this. Hello, ego, was my first reaction. A deep-rooted fear of being heard. I'm not ready. I have nothing to share. No one will want to hear what I have to say. Can you believe I said I needed to sleep on it? Like, seriously? I had just been given a massive opportunity to share my message with the masses, to make my words published on paper that will outlive me, a legacy for my daughter, Harper. And I was saying, I had to think about it. I knew I was responding with fear. I have learned over the years not to resist fear. It holds us back. However, meeting fear, shaking its hand, and becoming besties has helped me move forward. As I lay in my bed, I closed my eyes. I placed one hand on my heart, and I'm goosebumped here. And I took a deep, nourishing breath. I dropped from my cranial brain, from the fearful thoughts into my heart, asking for guidance. What am I to do here? Well, the answer came fast, loud and clear, with no emotions attached. Yes, yes, yes. And here we are.
And here we are.
Stacey, that's incredible. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if anybody else had goosebumps, but I just tingled all over then. So Stacey, tell us about you. Tell us about your background. What was your awakening about? What happened?
Yeah, so it's interesting because, like, I guess I've always told myself, and again, this has been like a self-limiting belief from my childhood, is like, I'm not creative. Like, I've always said I'm not creative, and I've had this creative block. And really what it was blockages that I was holding in my sacral, in my womb space. Yeah, it was trauma that I was carrying. Yeah. And it wasn't until, and I didn't know that this is what it was until I fell pregnant with my little girl Harper. And it was almost like, as her little soul was dropping in, my womb was just opening. Yeah, it was activated. And it was something that I'd never experienced before. And the only way that I can describe it was like my senses went boom. It was like all of a sudden, everything just became louder and more vibrant and clearer. And I've been an empath since I was a child, like I had to be, because I was really attuned quickly to people's emotions and reading people's moods. And I think I just naturally developed that, but I didn't know that I was an empath. I didn't have the language to put to it, until I got older. And I think I've always been quite intuitive, but it was only when I started to do this work on my womb and when I fell pregnant that I started deepening into my intuition.
Yes.
Because I was just feeling more, and I was like, whoa, it was like, the world just seemed different all of a sudden. Yeah, it seemed clearer. And I started listening to myself more. I started listening to that inner voice more. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's when kind of everything changed. It was like I started being drawn to energy work. And so I got into Reiki, and that was like opening up a Pandora's box for me. I was like, this is just a whole new world.
Yeah.
And as I was working on people, and I was calling in my clients, and I was doing more energy healing, I just started to develop my intuition. Like, people would be on my table and I'd start picking up thoughts and feelings and stuff that wasn't tangible. And I was like, I was really curious about it, and it kind of led me into theatre with you. And practicing more modalities, and I just got really curious about that. And so part of that journey has been healing parts of myself and part of my lineage, and working through sister wounds and mother wounds that I'd carried from childhood. And, you know, part of me for a long time was actually really angry, and I didn't know what, like, I guess I wasn't really aware of where that anger was coming from fully, because I was denying and distorting it and trying to keep myself safe. But I created a lot of self-limiting beliefs and a lot of stories from that. And for a long time, I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel worthy and deserving enough. And so a big part of the work that I do now is with women who have really been where I've been. And I'm only a little bit, you know, in front of that. But those are the women that I'm calling in to help them reclaim their power, reclaim their feminine energy, and open up to actually reconnecting with it. Because many of us, and this goes for myself as well, I speak for myself, I was disconnected from my feminine energy for a long time. And I didn't even know what it was or what it meant to connect to it. It was so foreign. And so, you know, I'm part of the work that I do is helping women reconnect with her. And I say visionary in action because I feel like so many of us constantly are receiving downloads of amazing ideas and visions and creativity, but it gets stuck up in here in our upper chakras. So it gets trapped in the ego. We start to, like, a really good example of this is when I started to do coaching. Like, that idea of coaching came to me, it was downloaded like 3 years ago. But it got stuck up here in the ego of thinking, I don't have enough time, I can't do that, it'll be too hard, you know, and all the self-limiting beliefs, which really came from me feeling like I wasn't good enough to do it. And it was trapped up here. And when I started to do this work, this deep work on my womb, I was able to carry down those visions and actually, like a seed, plant it ground it in my body, embody it, and then start creating from that and then releasing that out into the world. And that's kind of like what I do with other people, is help them take that vision, remove the self-limiting beliefs that are getting it stuck and playing round and round and round and stopping them from doing the amazing thing, and actually help them ground and embody that so that they can plant it, they can water it, they can nourish it, and helping them to rewrite some of the stories that they've created from themselves. And I mentioned in the book, because like when I started to kind of look at how I wanted to work with people and how I wanted to help people make the empowered change, I had to go back on my own timeline and look at how I've rewritten my stories. And some of that is by meeting the fear, dancing with vulnerability, releasing the shame. There's lots of different pockets to that, and that's a big part of the work that I'm now doing with other men and women, not just women, men as well, is helping them rewrite the story by exploring lots of different aspects of themselves and getting them to really get to know themselves again and reconnect with themselves.
Absolutely. And you know, as you're talking now, there may be people watching this, and I could feel this anyway, that have a completely different perspective on what the feminine is. Because we have been programmed with a distorted masculine and a manipulative feminine, so they don't quite get it. And I've even seen people say, I'm done with this, everyone's talking about sacred feminine, but that's just that's where they are on their path. It isn't what the media have put out there, what a feminine is or what a masculine is. Okay, that's distorted. Everything has been distorted. We have an incredible gift. We are incredible beings, and we're tapping into what we have so that we can share with the world. You know, we weren't put on this earth to be robots. We weren't put on this earth to go to work, be comfortable, to be mediocre. We were put on this earth to find our own unique gifts and share it with the world, because our gift is a gift. And through the divine feminine, the sacred feminine, divine masculine, sacred masculine, the true masculine, okay, the true masculine and the true feminine. You join these so that they are a balance. It's not just one feminine, one masculine. You have to have this in balance in your body, and it does take work, because as you do your work, and I know what you've been doing, because I've been helping you. Now the work is womb work. Okay, now what is womb work? Womb work is you carried your mum's beliefs through the DNA through your womb. You also carried your grandmother's beliefs, because you were in your grandmother's womb when your mum was in there. So you, as we can say, is an egg, would have felt the vibrations of everything that your grandmother, and this is what we call genetics.
Yeah.
Okay, and it comes into the in there's 4 levels, and it comes in. So the DNA, you can change your DNA. So how was your relationship with your mother?
So growing up, it was there was definitely a disconnect growing up. So my mum, she suffered with mental illness, and there was times where it was quite hard, because she was dealing with her own stuff. And so Dad wasn't around. He left when I was like 2, and like a lot of the work I've actually been working through, where I felt like it was aimed, it was more between the relationship between me and my mum. It was actually a relationship that I didn't have with my father, which I kind of suppressed that for a long time. But I guess it left me feeling angry for a long time. And so when I kind of went on this journey, it was almost like I had to look back through the lens of compassion. Because what I realized is that the women before me were carrying the torch, up until this point. And so I learned that my mum, she did the best she could with what she knew.
That's right. Yes.
So it was about me shifting that perspective and being able to look back, through through the lens of compassion, and actually realizing that she was doing the best that she could.
With the tools that she had.
Absolutely.
And now and the head, her head space. Exactly.
But now it's about me carrying the torch forward, for my daughter.
That's right.
And so it's, and the real powerful thing is that, the anger that I felt, what I realize now, what shifted in the realization is that all our experiences have meaning. All of them. So it's not necessarily like, there's times in my life where I felt really angry, where I was in that victim mode. And I've been able to shift that, because when I was in that mode, I was disempowering myself.
Exactly.
And one of the things that I had also realized is that, these are the beliefs that I had created. So I was taking that ownership. I was removing the blame that I placed on other people, and taking the ownership that, well, in fact, these are the beliefs that I've created. And you know something? We have the power to change them. And so that's where theta really played a huge part, because it got me looking at the beliefs that I'd created. And it got me healing those beliefs. And not only doing that, I was able to create new empowering beliefs for myself. To take those beliefs and use them to manifest the shit out of my life, and to have the life that I want to live. And so so with all my experience that I've gone through, like, I really take the meaning from it and the lessons from it now, and I use that to be the person who I want to be.
Absolutely. And what I love is now, for people who are listening and like thinking, oh, the penny's dropped here about doing this theta work and this, the inner work, the Reiki, the coaching. So that means now all the work that you've done, how is it going to affect Harper? Incredible.
And
she will never have that anger. Go.
And yeah, and I see it in her, you know, because kids are like little sponges, yeah, so they're taking on everything, yeah. And it's interesting, you know, I think I felt so disconnected from my feelings for so long, to the point where, like, a belief that I created in childhood was that it was weak to cry, it was weak to show your emotion, yeah. So I suppressed my emotions for a long time, and then it would come out in my behavior, in self-sabotaging ways, yeah. So, like, one of the things that, you know, that is really important for me is that Harper feels safe in expressing her emotions, you know, and that she's, you know, that she knows that, you know, when she's having a cry, you know, you let it out, you know. And even with my clients, when my clients come in, because I'm an empath and I actually feel what people are feeling before sometimes they even know what they're feeling, is that I'm able to hold that safe space, that clients will come in and, you know, we'll be talking the first few minutes, they'll kind of be like, oh, I can't believe that I've cried, or I've not done this for so long, like, and they feel safe. I hold that space for them. And that's what I want for her, is that she has that space where she feels safe to be able to express herself, and not just the tears, the joy, you know, all of the feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she is beautiful. I remember the first time I met her, as soon as I looked at her and I connected to her through her eyes, I knew that she was a gifted child. And
Yeah.
she is a gifted child. And we, you know, we always talk about how gifted she is. There's something very special. She senses, she sees. I mean, she's 3 now. And,
Yeah.
you know, I feel that she's fully psychic, the way she's able to connect. And she's incredible.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's the fact that she has an incredible mother too, that has done the work, so that she can now be her, she can be her fully, she can fully embody her own energies, not be shy, can speak her truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing,
and, you know,
mother,
I'm still
Stacey.
doing the work too, you know, and it's, you know, I feel like the work, it doesn't end, you know. To me, there's no such thing as a self-actualized person, because we're continually growing and expanding. We're made to grow and expand, so we're constantly, you know, we have the ability to continue we can deepen into anything, yeah. Any area of our life we can deepen into, we can go further and further. And so, yeah, I guess that's, you know, I guess, like, as a mother, like, you know, I'm kind of creating that foundation for her, but also so that she can be her own person, yeah, and be who she wants to be.
So
yeah.
What will you be doing now here? Are you going to stay in Stockport, or do you intend to travel around the country once we've come out of lockdown?
Yeah,
you're going to come. You're coming here, aren't you?
Yes, I can't wait to come and see the Goddess Rooms. Obviously, like, we've met in Perth, so it's going to be, I've wanted to see the Goddess Rooms and meet the incredible women, you know, that are, you know, spread out across all these different platforms, and start really connecting with these beautiful women. Like, I can't wait. To be honest with you, like, we've come over and we've come to the UK, and we've not got a plan as such, you know, and I feel like I probably needed that, because there's been a lot of doing. I've been in my masculine quite a lot over the past month or so, and I'm really feeling now that I need to kind of just get into that being instead of the doing. Although I am doing some stuff, like I'm working online and I'm coaching and I'm doing some distance healings and stuff, but I've kind of left it open to see what happens, see what unravels and unfolds. And, like I mentioned in the book, like, because a huge fear that I've had is the fear of being heard. Even being on here with you, it's like, ooh, you know, like, it's that kind of, some of that fear comes up, but I'm willing to meet that fear now. And when I said yes to writing the chapter in the book, like, I think it was like a year or 2 years before, and you put the offer out there, and I said no, I was scared. I was responding from fear, but this time I was willing to meet the fear after doing that work. And it's been really interesting, because from releasing the book and putting myself out there and meeting that fear, people are now asking me to come and speak, be a guest speaker on their programs and do all these things. So I'm really excited. So I'm just kind of opening the doors at the moment to be like, okay, universe, what's next? Show me. Yeah. And see what comes in. But I think, you you know, one of like the ideas that's coming through is to create a course for people. It's going to be online, and I'm kind of mapping that out at the moment. And some of the lessons that I share in the book is what my course will be based around, but I'm still in the early stages. I'm feeling into it at the moment of what it's going to look like. But I really want to spend some time with family. I want to be connecting with women in the UK and just seeing what kind of unravels. But I'm working online. I've my beautiful clients in Perth I'm working with online, because I can't do the one-on-one sessions. But online is just as powerful, and I love being able to reach people all around the world now. It's just amazing, and you'll know this yourself because that's what you're doing too. And so yeah, we're just kind of seeing what happens, but I feel like a course is going to be there at some stage, an online course. It's one of my I love bringing people together, so it will be an interactive course, but it's still at the early stages yet.
And that's right, you're birthing it, so you need to it needs to be the right thing. So and your plans for Christmas, where are you at Christmas? Are you with your mum, your dad, I mean your aunties, your nans? Where are you?
So at the moment we're actually in Swindon. We're at Ben's mum and dad, so we're in the country, and we're obviously, I know we come out of like isolation on Friday, tomorrow. And then we're going to actually go, because we can take our little bubble. It's so weird, strange over here, because in Perth, everything's like normal.
I know.
Back to normal. I know. So I'm just trying to get my head around how everything's working here. But we're going to take our bubble, and we'll be with our family over the 5-day period. My family will be with my mum, my granddad, my brothers. I'll get to see my beautiful new nephew who was born in December. My other brother's having a baby in January, so there's lots of beautiful things happening, and I just want to spend that time and really soak it in, and just give myself the gift of presence at the moment,
and the gift of family, and for Harker to have these memories, because she's 3 now, so she's going to remember Granddad sitting with her and pictures. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a real
loving it.
Christmas.
She's spoiled. She's spoiled at the moment. Good. Everyone is, and it's beautiful to see, and just for her to have that connection. It's almost like she's been here before. She's just settled right in. She's just loving it, and it's just making my heart burst watching her, watching her being and where our roots are. So
she's beautiful. So Stacey, I want to thank you for the most amazing interview. This is going to be uploaded to the Goddess Rooms. All our interviews are there. This also becomes shared around on my other pages. It's been amazing to speak to you. Thank you for coming on.
You. Thank you for
please connect with Stacey. Oh God, I love you so much. In the book, connect to her. She's beautiful, isn't she?
Reach out.
She's beautiful. Okay, my darling. God bless. Have the most amazing day, and I will catch up with you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.